This is Mrs. Renee Elpers. Okay, she's agreed to come to class, talk to you a little bit about marketing, communications. She is our director of marketing, communications, and human public relations. Okay, and she's agreed to take time out of her day, answer any questions. She's going to give a short presentation and answer any questions you guys have. All right? Are we ready? Are you ready? Nope. All right. Give a hand to Mrs. Elpers, please. All right.
Okay, I wrote this speech in my head like many days ago, but I only threw the PowerPoint together today, so it's pretty basic. It's probably looks pretty remedial for me being in charge of your marketing department, so don't judge me on my PowerPoint. Just a little bit about me. I graduated from Fort Hays State University in 2018 with my Bachelor's of Science. I studied leadership and agriculture. I'm currently working on my Master's of MBA, and it'll be done this year. It'll be an MBA, but it'll be focused in ag. The structure of your MBA at Fort Hays is you have like your general MBA classes, and then you just do 3 classes that are focused on your specific major. So that's where I'll do my 3 in ag. This is my family over here. It's me, my mom, my dad, my sister and her husband, and their 2 boys. That's Lamar. This is our new pup, Hondo. We just got him a couple weeks ago. So that's pretty much it. I grew up on a farm, raised cattle, grow wheat, raised in Kansas, life. Nothing too exciting. That's just a little about me. My dad is the county commissioner of Kingman County. He got elected. I think it's a 4-year term, and he's currently in year 2, so he'll need to re-elect in 2 years. I made him this. This is our new edition. It used to say elect. Now it says re-elect. I made him this ad for his election campaign. He is Republican, so that's why we did the elephant, and we are ranchers, cowboys, whatever you want to describe us as. So I did the cowboy on the elephant. So that is his ad, and I'm really proud of that. Probably my most proud design I've ever made. It's pretty basic, but gets the point across. My job history, my background is I've done a lot, been a lot of places. My first job was USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. It's a federal government job. NRCS specifically, that's the conservation side of the government, conservation of water, soil, land, pretty much that kind of stuff. Every county has an office for the most part. I don't know how moving forward if that's going to be the same, but every county has a USDA office, and then you have regional offices, state office, federal offices. I decided I did not like working for the federal government anymore, so I went to National Western Stock Show. You will learn that my background is very agriculture-based, Western lifestyle-based. This is actually my first job in higher education. So I went to National Western Stock Show, and that's in Denver, Colorado. It is one of the world's largest stock shows. It runs 16 days in January. And it has anything you can imagine. It does pro rodeo, cattle shows, horse shows, llama shows, anything you can imagine. It is a ticketed event, and I ran their ticket office. So we used a company called Pacquiolin. And if you guys continue, I don't think our events here are even ticketed, but if you continue your career, you will learn that a lot of NCAA teams use Pacquiolin. It's a very common ticketing company in sporting, not necessarily like Ticketmaster definitely has the monopoly, but in sporting events like college athletes, they use NCAA. After National Western, I went to the PRCA, the Pro Rodeo Cowboy Association. And to put that in terms, which I'm looking out across the crowd and doesn't look like anybody would know what that is, but in terms, it's like working for the NFL. It's the association that controls the team. So you work for the NFL, and then you have your subdivisions. So it'd be like that. At the end of the season for PRCA, it's in December, you go to Vegas for 10 days, and that's when you would have your quote-unquote Super Bowl. Ours just lasts 10 days versus 1 night. So I went to Vegas with them for like a month because we have to go out and set up, do the 10 days rodeos, and then you tear down. And that was a lot of fun. That is in Colorado Springs, Colorado. There's a lot of different, like, you probably heard of PBR, PRCA. There's a lot of different like aspects of rodeo, much like other sports. And I don't speak very many sports, so I'm going to try like arena football, pro football, like your different sets of football. Here's just some pictures from when I was at PRCA. That's a Budweiser Clydesdale. That was pretty neat. I got to meet that at South Point. That's in Vegas. Saddles, like if you win if you win at NFR, you get a saddle, and that's a world champion buckle. These are gold, and they're worth like $20,000–$30,000. Okay, so a little bit about marketing. I'm going to talk about not necessarily my part in marketing, but just like the good and bad and ugly of marketing. So these are specifically 9/11, which, were you guys even alive during 9/11? Okay. So this was in 2013. AT&T made this post, and they had, the board rights. They had to make a formal apology about this because they like tried to say never forget, but then they were also trying to sell iPhones. So this is like very ugly. Like this is not what you want to do. This was in, I wrote all over the board. This is in 2002. It's actually a video I'll show you. This is a Budweiser Clydesdale video, and it was one of the first. They used drone footage, and they were one of the first people in New York that got to fly into the airspace after 9/11 to take footage, and this was only shown one time, like it's only been used one time as a commercial at the Super Bowl 2002, and it is one of like the best Super Bowl commercials. Let's see if I embedded this correctly. I'll just Google it real quick. Recently they redid it, and they put like AI in it with the new World Trade Center, and I think that was actually, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but I think that one included the new World Trade Center in it. So they were the first, Budweiser was the first people to get to go in airspace after 9/11 and like make commercials and whatnot, which is a very big deal, obviously. So that's supposedly one of the best Super Bowl commercials that have ever been made. Another scandal that most people have never heard about is the Rice Krispies scandal that happened in 2014 out of Memphis, Tennessee. They were making Rice Krispies, and a man essentially defecated on all the Rice Krispies, and they were still put into production, like nobody caught him, it was no big deal until after the fact, but then their PR and their marketing team covered it up so well that nobody essentially heard about it in 2014, and if you even Google it, it's still like so well covered up, it's hard to find. But like that's like the magnitude of marketing and PR, like that. Eventually, the man did go to jail, but I mean you don't hear about that. You didn't hear about it. It's not like it was ever even a thing that happened, but that's a really big deal. Not many people know about that. So talking about the good, the bad, and ugly on my end. This is a picture I made for Thanksgiving Day. Does everybody know what the Macy's Day Parade is? Okay, I photoshopped this, a beaver on this balloon. Okay, and I put coming soon to a parade near you as a play on Macy's Day Parade. And it did not go over well because a lot of people thought that we were really going to have a balloon at the Macy's Day Parade. And that is obviously not true. It was a play on Macy's Day Parade. I photoshopped it. It's the logistics to get into the Macy's Day Parade. I do not think I could even comprehend. We, even after it was really ugly, like we still got decent engagement. So I mean, even bad publicity is good publicity. We got really good engagement. A lot of people shared it because I think they were mocking me, but we still got it shared. So just, you also have to be really well to like know your audience. Maybe I should have made this slide a little more less confusing. Like I guess everybody assumed everybody has the same like humor as I do, and that they would understand that coming to a parade near you, that was a joke. We didn't really go out buy a helium balloon. We're gonna put it in Macy's Day Parade. So you just always have to be able to know your audience, but at the same time, like all publicity is good publicity. You know, in this case, like we got really good engagement. This is probably our best performing specific ad, and it was for Kansas Day. This is probably like the best we've ever done. All of our stuff is organic. We don't pay for any ads on Facebook. We are going to start pushing the EPT program as our lineman program out here with some ads, like paid for ads, but as of right now, everything's organic, and this is our best one. And like you would think this would not offend anyone, right? You would be shocked at the number of comments that I still had to delete regarding Kansas Day. So it's like you never know what's gonna hit, what's gonna miss, what's gonna offend somebody. They're gonna, tell you that's wrong, that's right, that's, just stupid stuff. So you really gotta know your audience, but then again, at the same time, you kind of just gotta do what you think is right, what you think is gonna hit, and just you roll with the punches. I think this is my last slide. These are some, we have billboards on either side of town. I don't know if you guys noticed. One is before the feedlot, and I don't know which side the other one is because I come in from this direction, so I don't know where the other one is, but they are going to expire. We're going to renew, and I want to update them. So these are some mock billboard examples. This Where Our Communities Our Middle Name is a really big push one around here. We haven't made a decision, but these are just some examples. These two, I don't think, like you have to think, like these are probably not going to blow up well. These photos, they won't blow up well on a large billboard scale, but they're cool. You have to think about stuff like that. But as for like my day-to-day, it's a lot of content making. I do our newsletter, we do public releases, that kind of stuff. Oh, I have one more slide. And just a lot of our marketing. We do have, I'm assuming most of you guys are athletes, all of your athletic pages are ran by your coaches. And then Charles and I believe Eli kind of help with that. They're not really under my purview for the most part, but I do run most of our main Facebook page and main social media pages. If this is something like you're interested in, marketing, specifically sports marketing, they say that Ohio University is the green one, by the way, in Athens, Ohio, is supposed to be the best of the best. My interns at PRCA, that's where they went. They bragged about it a lot. Supposedly there's this book of everybody all the people that have ever went to school there, where they are now. Like it's really good for networking if it's something you want to do. The interns I had, some of the girls now, they're working for NFL teams. They're working for pro soccer teams. I still follow them on social media. They're doing really well for themselves. That's supposedly the best of the best. I think it comes down to networking, who you know, where you interned. As cheesy as LinkedIn is, I think it's handy. I don't think you need to go to Athens, Ohio to meet people, but if you're really taking this seriously, maybe that's someplace you need to look into. I don't know. Like I said, that's just where I was told the best of the best. As for jobs and internships, these are my top 2 locations. The IAFE, it's more affairs and expos. If that's something you want to do, that would be like more your National Western Stock Show. Those are your 60-day fairs. Like I don't know if any of you guys went to the state fair this year. That's where those postings would be. Your long-term fairs. And then Teamwork Online is really good. It's more sports oriented. It has and you can it's very filtered oriented. It has your pros, it has your all types of levels, your pro leagues, your Wichita Wingnuts, which is we call that the farm league for baseball. But you can do it for your interest of you want marketing, you want ticketing, you want VP, you want maintenance, but then you can also go as far as city, state, location, or you specifically want a team. You can filter it down. It's really good. I really like Teamwork Online. It has really good filter options. But those I would say my top 2 for jobs and internships, and they both post jobs and internships. So I think that is my last slide. Yes, that was it. Any questions?
Does the influence of other people, other brands, spark marketing ideas? Do you have take over?
Yes. My background is actually business and analytics, not necessarily design, so I do struggle. a lot with design, so I use Pinterest a lot, which I don't know if Pinterest is even a thing anymore, but I do like that. And I love I have TikTok just like the rest of you, so looking at stuff like that or what other colleges are doing. But I do try to walk the line on making sure I'm not like blatantly copying somebody else, because there are infringement and now I'm not being able to think of the world. When you create something, you have like ownership over it, and there's a word and I'm blanking on it. There's a legal term that protects you when you design something, so I don't want to just blatantly copy somebody and get sued over it. But yeah, I'm always looking for inspiration, what other schools are doing, what other designs look well, fonts, that kind of stuff.
Someone else?
What was your most challenging project?
Probably when I was at the PRCA, they say don't meet your heroes, they also say don't work, like, I would just carry that on, don't work your dream job, like, I know I don't wanna like discourage you, but, it was really a disappointment when I got there, like, of how messy it was, if that makes sense. So working there was just very messy, a lot of politics, and then when we got ready to go to Vegas for like 30 days, I mentioned my boss quit that week, like the week before we got on the plane. She quit Thursday, but we got on the plane Saturday. So a really big challenge was just like the knowledge that she was supposed to bring out there and the things that she was supposed to do when she got there. Like I said, we had 2 days to prepare when she wasn't gonna get on that plane. So just always be on your toes, always be ready for whatever, because your boss couldn't quit 2 days before you traveled to Vegas for 30 days.
What skills do you think are the most important for someone looking to work in the marketing or college department?
I think there's a lot of skills. I am very much the component, like, when I was young, I thought like I was the smartest person in the room, but you're not. So, and this is something like my dad always says, like, I'm also not very PC, so I hope I don't offend anybody, but like, shut up and you might learn something. So like, just sit in the room and take in like what somebody else is saying. So just be able to like take in what somebody else is saying, because they probably do know more than you even know. Like I did too when I was 21, 22 when I graduated high school. College. I was like, I know this stuff. I'm a college graduate. So just like take in as much information you can take from anyone, really. Like whether it's somebody in marketing or it's a grandparent or it's an adult, just take in all that information you can, because it will help you in the long run.
Somebody else have a question? I know we're writing, and I don't want to discourage that, but we don't want to take her time if we're not going to use her.
So, how do you decide what message to communicate to the public or the college?
That's a hard one because, well, it's hard and easy. I try to keep it very, I don't want to say generic because that sounds bad, but just very like open to all. Like anybody, like we're not like a one-stop shop store, that anybody can come here. We're open to all. We have so many options, like call, if you want more information, call or hit this website. There were a few, I don't know if you saw, it was like 2 years here, career forever, and that was kind of like the EPT theme. So I kind of try to fluctuate between them both. Like we're generic, which I know that sounds bad, but we're also very specialized. So it's kind of hard, like you have to just pick a balance. Like I have a little calendar that I just keep track of, well, I did a little more, like today let's do something more fun. Do something more serious, so, and you can get away with more fun things on like holidays, like Halloween. Nobody's really like looking for jobs on Halloween, so you can get away with something a little more fun on Halloween or Valentine's Day or whatever's coming up.
You mentioned earlier on the engagement, and I know this is your time, but I'm just curious. Bad publicity is still publicity.
Yeah.
Is what you said. How does that work when you post something?
do you just, is there like, does it categorize good publicity, bad publicity? Do you have to go through and read all of it and go, oh man, I really hit this group poorly, or
Yeah.
what's the procedure for that when that comes back?
Yeah, it didn't show it because I cropped it out, but there is like a section that even Meta tracks like poor engagement. And that's, I think, when people, like, if you have the like option, but you can even do like hearts and stuff, like people can put like this mad face. I've never had that, but I assume that's where that would categorize in there, when you have like that much interaction, and we don't have that much interaction, but if you, like, PETA maybe, like if PETA posted something, a farmer might put a mad face, and they would have like that kind of negative interaction that Meta would track. As for like comments, and that's how I knew I had like touched and chords, that's where I track that all just in the comments. Or the blue one made it all the way to the Pratt neighbors chat thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And that's how I knew it really was quote unquote famous. So, and like I said, you have to just know your audience, because some people just don't like have the humor that I might have. Like, you know what I mean? I was talking with my mom, and like we're kind of the same, thought process. Like, obviously we didn't buy $50,000 of helium for a balloon, but some people just, it's Facebook, they see that, they don't put any logistics behind it. So it's more, it's not like, there is ability for Meta to track it, I guess is the answer, but on the same end, it's more of just me tracking it.
Reading the comments.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have one. How do you work with other departments at the college to share like important information?
Yeah, that's a good question. So mostly, I work mainly with admissions, because I'm putting their number and their emails on the contact information, like who to contact if a student does want to inquire about us. So that's who I work with mainly. When it comes to sports, the thing about Pratt is sports kind of runs on their own. So I don't really speak for sports. They're their own sovereign nation. But I just try to make sure I have the correct information of admissions, the correct phone numbers, working phone numbers. We have a pretty full admission staff now, so it's pretty much any phone number I put, somebody's gonna answer. Like in August, like you didn't want to put a phone number for somebody that's phone doesn't work. So we just work with that. Specifically the 2 years here, A Career Forever, that one was a tough one because EPT students, alignment students, they can do a 9-month program and get a certificate. They can do, there was a lot of variables for linemen. And so that 2 years here, A Career Forever, really wasn't wrong, but it wasn't correct because we had 2 types of programs. You could get an associate's, you could get a certificate. So that you really have to collaborate on what we want to push out. Like, does EPT want people to be here for the associates, or do they want them here for the certificate? So you really have to talk about like what it is the school and all the players want to be pushed out on like the lineman program. Like, do we want certificates, do we want associates? And what do we want to promote? 2 years here, 9 months here.
I think you could take over men's soccer social media. It would be pretty good. It would help us a lot.
It's so funny. I think men's soccer has 2 accounts.
Yeah.
And I don't think one's active, but I saw it and it was like you guys were selling a Mercedes-Benz. So I think you guys got hacked. Like one of the accounts got hacked. It was hilarious. I'm like, I don't think this is our account. Yeah, I don't touch sports social medias at all. Like I said, you guys are your own jazz. I know a lot of schools, like I don't know why I always reference OSU. Not that I like or dislike them, but like they're very much like you have marketing and then you go down and like everybody's on the same page. Pratt, we like to beat to our own drum. So sports is kind of you're on your own jazz. So if that's something that Kevin, is that his name? Kevin wants, like I'd be happy to take it on, but it's just not how it's ever been done.
Anybody else?
How do you build and maintain relationships with the local media and community organizations?
We don't really have much local media. We have a newspaper, and I mostly just email her, like when we do press releases, I send her all of my press releases, or when there's something going on campus, like when we had Roll the Dome, and then you guys are gonna have a speaker, Dr. Tidwell, here in a couple weeks. I just kind of let her know when that stuff's happening. We do have a paper in my region, the Kingman County region, who covers a couple counties that I have tried to kind of work with, but it doesn't normally work out. And I do send some things to like our bigger, like our Wichita media conglomerates. Sometimes when we got the third community college in the nation, that kind of jazz. So it's kind of hit and miss, but mostly I just work with our local paper here.
Nothing, can't come to mind with anything off the top of your head?
Is there any activities or events you organize to promote Brad Community College?
I helped Brad a little bit with student life when Kenny had switched to track and we hadn't hired yet Larissa, but not really. I kind of just stick to marketing. Yeah, so not really, no. I know that sounds bad, but just stick to marketing. But Larissa's doing really well with student life. I think she's doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Better than I was doing, that's for sure.
So you said that you help run like the social media, like the Instagram and stuff. So like whenever there's like events and stuff going on, like that's you who's the one that like gets the thing together, the pictures and
Yeah.
like, posts them out. Okay, that's all I was.
Oh, all right. I didn't.
So like from the standpoint of a community college, is it worth it to take a risk and possibly risk a heavy loss in order to promote something you believe in?
Yeah. I actually went to Hutch JUCO for 1 year, so I as well know what community college life is like. And before I transferred to Fort Hays, so I very much know like the community college lifestyle. But yeah, no, I think in many cases, not even just community college, it's very smart. If you are, oh God, we're gonna get philosophical now. Do you know what I mean? Like if you are very passionate about something and you want to stand for that and you want to do it and take that risk, I think it's important that you do it. But I'm more of, like I said, I have a business and analytic background, so I'm also very logistical in the sense that I like to think of all possible outcomes. But at the same time, I'm also very quick to do things. So I say that I'll be logistical and think all the things out, but at the same time, I'll do something stupid. But if you stand for something and that's what you're passionate about, and that's what you want to do, I say do it. Do it. And that doesn't mean just at a community college level if we're talking about social media or X, Y, Z. So